It's Monday, September 22nd, 2025. Welcome to The Dish. 15 minutes of curated insights and intelligence for federal contracting stakeholders. I'm go-to guy Timberlake of the ASPC, and today we're serving up what feels to many to be a coordinated effort to conduct economic warfare on America's small businesses through federal procurement policy. In our first segment, we'll examine how GSA and the administration are writing small businesses out of government contracting with the Revolutionary FAR Part 13 rewrite that eliminates nearly $20 billion in small business opportunities. In segment 2, we'll look at some of the troubling data on dismantling of the 8A program. It's the only socioeconomic program that's actually shrinking while the others are growing. And then finally, the silent funding revolution has expanded. In our previous episode, we looked at the impact of multi-year funding on civilian agencies, and now we're bringing DoD into the picture with $155.5 billion in multi-year funding that pushes the grand total up to $345.5 billion, basically 45% of federal spending now operating without traditional fiscal cliffs. Ready to get to it? We'll be right back after a quick check-in with one of our coalition partners. Chuck Dickens and the team at IT Availability are doing great things for the U.S. government and our nation. IT Availability is led by former senior intelligence community executives who excel at implementing cutting-edge technologies, mitigating cyber risks, and ensuring data integrity. Their expertise spans satellite communications, network operations, cybersecurity, software development, and data center services. If they can empower the intelligence community, imagine what they can do for the rest of government. Contact Chuck and the team today by visiting itavailability.com. So in the first segment, we're going to take a look at what it looks like when small business is being written out of government contracting. Where it started were legislative proposals issued by GSA to the 119th Congress. And it seemed innocent enough with their increase to the simplified acquisition threshold for commercial products and services, raising it from $250,000, the current threshold prior to the inflationary adjustment, to $10 million over the next 5 years, and also increasing the special simplified procedures for commercial items from $5 million to $50 million over the same time period. Now, what a lot of folks may not have seen is in that proposal, a few things happen. One, the threshold for small business set-aside is expected to match the statutory goal of simplified acquisitions. And that's what it currently does. This proposal would have limited that. So while everyone else would see an increase in the utilization of simplified acquisitions up to $10 million per contract action, set-asides for small business, we're going to stay at $250,000. The other part is there's another rule in the books where they're going to increase the micro purchase threshold to $100,000. And what that means is what is currently $15,000 to $350,000 range for small business set-asides would be cut in half from $100,000 to only $250,000, accounted for about $4.5 billion in lost opportunities for small business. But wait, there's more. In the FAR, as it was written when FASA was passed in 1994, one of the key reasons for simplified acquisition procedures was found in 13.002B. And literally, it states improve opportunities for small disadvantaged, woman-owned, veteran-owned, hub zone, and service disabled veteran owned small business concerns to obtain a fair proportion of government contracts. The FAR rewrite gets rid of it. It is completely gone. So where we are now is this. Again, the current version of the FAR addresses simplified acquisitions as the acquisition of supplies and services to include construction, research and development, commercial products, and commercial services. The FAR rewrite that's currently up there right now reduces it to just non-commercial products and services, and that change reduced the FY24 take for small business from $17.5 billion to $5.4 billion. Folks, now it's time to sound the alarm. There are things going on right now that are going to decimate the small business community and the communities where all these companies are located around the country. Right now, we need to be paying attention. We need to be actually speaking to any of the elected officials that can help us reach out to the House Small Business Committee, the Senate Small Business Committee, and state your concerns. $18 billion right now, based on FY24 spending, is on the chopping block for small business. Folks, when I say the names Courtney, Martin, Jody, and Maureen, you should immediately think of Global Services, the best resource in federal contracting for winning and activating multiple award schedules, GWACs, and other contract vehicles that your federal customers are using right now. For the past 25 years, Global Services has helped over 3,000 companies achieve success by understanding small business because they are a small business. Global Services has helped companies just like yours win more than $25 billion in federal contracts, and they have the knowledge and the skill to help you too. Reach out to them right now. Visit them on the web at globalservicesinc.com or call them at 202-234-8933 and make sure you tell them that Go-To Guy sent you. All right, folks, segment 2. We're looking at the dismantling of the 8A program. Now, you may have heard recently that the 8A program was put under a microscope, basically a full audit, top to bottom, based on an occurrence that happened. Now, it's not like these types of, situations don't occur throughout government contracting. There are notable ones even currently going on with some of the largest companies. But right now, this is all about dismantling programs that helped underserved and underutilized communities based on any number of factors. So, not too long ago, Sam Lee, former official from the U.S. Small Business Administration, wrote an article talking about something weird going on with the 8A program, with most of those being affected being firms owned by Alaska Native corporations, tribes, and Native Hawaiian organizations. Understand, if they're coming for them, they can come for you too. What Sam's data showed was a decline versus growth in some of the other programs. Specifically, when you look at the growth from May of 2025 through the time when he created this, September 15th, basically there was a growth in the service-disabled veteran program for getting processed, 13.5% up, while the 8A program dropped by 6%. And so why this matters, of all the socioeconomic programs, the 8A program is the most complete and successful, and historically has been an entry point for disadvantaged companies of all types. The systematic reduction that we're seeing right now in these programs for communities of color and others is troubling, and it's something that also needs to be paid attention to. Unfortunately, this action that we're seeing right now at SBA aligns with broader small business opportunity reduction. Again, go back to the previous segment. FAR Part 13 is going to wipe out nearly $20 billion in small business opportunities. Again, this is part of the wake-up call. Folks, our ethical stalking for government contractors boot camp is coming up in October. And what I wanted to share with you is something that Brenna Coppola-Milner of ORI had to say after participating in the August cohort. She described it as being packed with eye-opening insights, great vibes, and valuable networking opportunities that delivered proven techniques to quickly qualify federal contracting opportunities and work smarter. In the changing environment that we're seeing right now, procurement consolidation and schedules and so forth, these are the type of things that you need to be aware of. And these are the skills and the knowledge that you need to continue to thrive in federal contracting. If you want to join the ranks of our bootcamp alumni like Brenna, take advantage of early bird pricing. That's good through September 23rd. So you can join us at the October 21st and 22nd bootcamp cohort in Bethesda, Maryland. Register today at bootcamp.theaspc.org. Now, while these policy changes that we've talked about are creating some real challenges for small business, there is glimmer of hope, and there are opportunities based on some of the other changes that are going on. Part of that change is actually happening to how government funding works. Now, in a previous episode of The Dish, we talked about the change that was taking place with multi-year appropriations for, at the time, civilian agencies. That was the first dip we did into H.R. 1. Well, we called it the silent funding revolution because a lot of folks simply didn't notice it. And now what we've done, we've taken it a step further. We've gone back and dug into all of the impact now on DOD. So what appeared to be previously about a quarter of all federal spending at the program level being impacted, now it actually is half. So the Department of Defense, based on the dollars they had right now that would have expired on September 30th, 2025, have now been extended until September 30th, 2029. What that does is, for those dollars and those affected programs, it has removed the annual fiscal cliff. That means your customers and buyers are now going to behave differently based on the different dynamics associated with this. What you need to understand is, how does this impact you? What are the programs that your company is supporting actively or pursuing, and what's going to change in the cadence for those specific programs, offices, and buying activities? Here's what it comes down to. Program level relationships have always mattered more than contracting relationships. And now we're doubling down on that, because by creating fewer buyers, AKA the procurement consolidation, the only way to differentiate besides what you do is getting the relationship. Whether it's a handshake or influence through marketing, you got to make it happen. Folks, that is the dish for this week. Remember, in federal contracting, the companies that are getting shit done are staying ahead of the intelligence curve. Use what we've served up. Take action. And we'll be back next week with another 15 minutes of insights that don't waste your time. Remember, the person saying it can't be done should stop interrupting the person doing it. And I believe you can get it done. I'm Go-To Guy Timberlake, and this has been your latest serving of The Dish.